to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today, Around Kansas takes a look at some of the interesting people, places, and things in the state, starting with a story of friendship, compassion, and selflessness that you won't want to miss. Next, we take a look at a CineMagic Experience in Ottawa, some Kansas Pride communities, and then finish up with a poem from our Poet Lariat, Ron Wilson. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and that means this is Around Kansas. I'm Frank Chafin, and
I'm Deb Goodrich. Nice to be with you this morning.
And of course, we're from our studio in the historic Dillon House, which is right across the street from the state capitol in Topeka, Kansas, USA.
Isn't this a great place for a party?
It is.
It's beautiful.
So I think there are going to be tours at some point because they're still doing a lot of renovation here, but it's a beautiful place. So look forward to coming here and having some sort of event. You can do that now.
I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait.
So what's coming up? What are we doing?
Sampler festivals this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Wamego, one of the biggest weekends of the year, of course, for a lot of Kansans. Last year, they broke attendance records in Wamego, and I think they're going to do it again this year. I'll be in a tent selling books and visiting with folks with Aaron Barnhart and his lovely wife, Diana Eichhoff, and Matt Dighton. And we featured them last year on Around Kansas. We did several segments on the Sampler Festival, so we hope to see you there. It's going to be a great event.
And what it means by the Kansas Sampler is it's a sampling of
Just
events and things and peoples and
everything.
places from all over the state of Kansas, and it moves around. Every 2 years it goes somewhere else in the state. It's in the eastern part of the state last year, this year, so this will be the chance to see it then, and then it's going to move somewhere else next year.
And of course, Wamego, that park, I can't imagine a more perfect setting.
Oh, yeah.
That park was absolutely perfect for it.
It is. It's beautiful. That's where the old Dutch mill is. So.
Oh, it's so pretty, so pretty. So April has just been an incredibly busy month. And going into May, I mean, it's just like everything is full swing. It's like, winter, you're just hibernating and you're just sitting there waiting for the cold to end. And then it's like everything just springs out. And even western Kansas, it's turning into spring. And if you have a chance to get over to Fort Wallace, their annual meeting is also Sunday, and they have a program with that. So check out the Fort Wallace Museum, a nice cluster of buildings there, wonderful, wonderful folks, and a really nice program. You know what? We're going to start a calendar on our website at some point, Frank, because there's so much cool stuff going on. And this gentleman who moved to Kansas yesterday was just saying to me, it seems like people in Kansas just have a sixth sense for when things are going to happen, and then I hear about it after the fact. And he said, I miss stuff. And I'm like, oh, that would have been awesome. So we're going to help you with that. We're in the process of getting a calendar going. So if there's something you want us to put on there, just drop us a line and let us know, and we'll make sure to share that with everybody.
Yeah, that'll be good for me, so then I'll know when to show up
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Hey, also, this Friday is the first Friday Art Walk in Topeka, and of course that means also in Noto, where the WREN radio studio is. Stop in and say hi to us.
That is the best event ever.
It is.
It's all over Topeka. Noto, of course, the real hot spot, but it's the best ever.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll be back.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
We're back.
Welcome back to Around Kansas, and you know what makes Kansas so special? People.
People.
Obviously. And whether they're dead or alive, you know, I kind of like ones from the past too. But there's just no shortage of some really cool folks in Kansas. And you know, one of the great things about social media, people, when the telephone came out, believe it or not, people said, oh, the telephone is going to be the downfall of civilization because people sit and waste their time on the phone. And it's the same way with computers. Oh, people are in chat rooms or they're on Facebook and all this stuff. And it's just the downfall of civilization. But like everything else, it's what you make it. And I've made friends on Facebook and the other social media that I don't think I would have found any other way. And one of those stories is one that we're going to share with you today. And this story came to me through Facebook. Somebody had seen my profile and they had seen the show mentioned. And so this is how this particular story came to me, was on Facebook. So send us your ideas.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it. You know, we're going to talk about Rob Robinson, good old boy from Mississippi, and a friend of his, Gil Alexander from out in Nicodemus. Now, have you ever visited Nicodemus?
Not to my knowledge.
Nicodemus was a black settlement founded primarily by the Exodusters after the Civil War was over. So freed slaves were looking for land, and of course where they were, there wasn't a lot of land available. And Kansas was one of those states that advertised for them to come west and find a place to settle. So Nicodemus is one of those great sites. And Gil Alexander lives in Nicodemus, 4th generation there. So we're going to tell you an incredible story about Gil Alexander and his good friend from Mississippi. It all started with a turkey. Rob Robinson is a good old boy from Mississippi, a fireman in Starkville. He had been traveling to Kansas to hunt deer for 20 years when he turned his attention to turkeys. His second year of hunting, he landed the Kansas state record and bagged a 26.5-pound bird. It was actually number 7 in the world. Rob was going for the Grand Slam of turkey hunting, 4 different types of birds, and headed for Nicodemus, Kansas. There, he knocked on the door of Gil Alexander, a 4th-generation farmer and rancher, to ask permission to hunt on his land. Gil recalled the day 3 years later that Rob returned to ask if he could pitch a tent in Gil's yard. Gil did not recall the name, but he sure remembered the southern accent, an accent that often put him on edge. Gil grew up in the 1960s, when images of the South on television were dominated by violence towards blacks. His own great-grandfather had escaped a plantation in Mississippi and joined the 10th Kansas Cavalry at Fort Leavenworth, the legendary Buffalo Soldiers. This southern boy standing on Gil's doorstep was the last person he expected to become such an important part of his life. Gil was on dialysis in the morning, cutting Milo in the afternoons. He had gone to the top of the list for a kidney from a cadaver, but Rob said, "No, I'm giving you a kidney." In November of 2012, Rob came to Kansas City and celebrated Thanksgiving with Gil's family, and Monday they headed to the hospital. The organ match, said doctors, was closer than siblings. The kidney functioned immediately. It was an emotional moment for Gil to visit Rob in Mississippi and find himself in the same county in which his great-grandfather was born a slave, just miles from Rob's home. Rob's white family welcomed him with open arms as a new member of the family. Since then, Rob and Gil have begun a new endeavor, Forever Outdoors, an organization that enables people with challenges to get outside and hunt and fish and do all those things these men have enjoyed. Rob says they welcome veterans, kids, organ donors or recipients, cancer survivors, anyone with challenges to overcome. Rob envisions a 5-star resort in northwestern Kansas someday soon. In the meantime, they have held turkey hunts and muzzle-loading shoots and other events to benefit the cause. Forever Outdoors has a Facebook page, and those wishing to get involved may contact Rob at the number or email on our screen. And to think, it all started with a turkey.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
And again, we're back. You know, there are a lot of really just great places all over the state of Kansas, and some that are rather famous. There's the Fox Theater in Newton,
Right.
Which has been restored, and they show the movie Picnic there, I believe, on some occasions. And another movie theater is actually the oldest continuously running movie theater in the United States. There's only one older, and it's in Europe. I believe it's in Denmark. And so we're going to tell you a story about the theater. It's in Ottawa, Kansas, and they call it the CineMagic Experience. When you're there, you can have dinner and a movie all in one place.
Awesome.
It's very interesting. The theater actually opened in 1907.
Wow.
It was refurbished in 1996, and it's kind of ongoing. But I'm not going to tell you the whole story now, because then why would you want to stay tuned?
You know, I think my friend Deb Barker worked on that project, didn't she? She's head of the, and let me get this right, the Historical Society there in Ottawa, and I think she was one of the ones that worked on the documentation for that to prove that it really was the oldest, and did some really difficult research, because anybody can claim anything, but you have to be able to document it. And I think Deb is the one who worked on that.
Yeah, and it is on the historic register, so you know they can put some modern accoutrements in it, but basically it kind of stays the way it was.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
We've been talking to you about many opera houses around the state of Kansas, and some of them have been restored and some are in the process of being restored. But today I'm going to talk about a movie theater, and the reason is because it is the oldest continuously operating movie theater in the United States, perhaps the world. It's in Ottawa, Kansas, and it's called the Plaza CineMagic Experience. The theater has undergone extensive renovation and was restored to its original historic character, except with, of course, up-to-date sound and projection and seating. The Theater Museum is open during the day, and first-run movies play in the evening. The theater was actually opened in 1905, showing The Great Train Robbery and The Great Bank Robbery, of course, two of the first movies ever made, too. The theater opened 2 years before a theater in Denmark. It opened in 1907, so it could be the oldest operating movie theater in the world. But it is the oldest continually operating movie theater in America. The theater also features the Plaza Grill. That was part of the theater from the very beginning back in 1907. And the grill, of course, has been updated. I hear it has really good food, so you can do dinner and show all in one place. Also, it's planned for the Plaza CineMagic Experience to have an ornate ticket booth with a talking mannequin to issue the tickets, and then displays of costumes worn in movies by the stars that wore them. So there's a museum there, the theater is operating, and of course you can have dinner at the Plaza Grill. A unique experience is the Plaza CineMagic Experience in Ottawa. More fun around Kansas.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Around Kansas, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Around Kansas, and like Frank said, there's a lot of interesting things, and I brought some things to show and tell this morning.
What is this thing? It looks like some sort of latch or something.
A torture instrument or whatever you can see. This is actually art in my home. I'm so easy to buy for. My granddaughter's family on her dad's side homesteaded in Lincoln County, I believe in the 1870s. And when they tore down an old barn recently, he saved the latch for me. So that latch, and you can show them, isn't that cool? Just a real simple little old latch. But what a great memento for those old farming days in Lincoln County. They actually lived around Westfall, the Obermillers. So that's one of those things that I'm putting up for Lulu, my granddaughter, to keep. I'm sure she's going to be thrilled. And, you know, sometime in the future, we're going to talk to some of our friends who are really into metal detecting. And I've got a lot of buddies who are into that and find some really cool things. This is what we found in Lecompton one day. This was actually on where I used to live in Lecompton, my former husband's home site, which was a territorial home site. So I don't know if these are territorial horseshoes or if they're just 50 years old or if some horse passing on the highway, you know, threw one off. But I'm going to have my metal detector buddies take a look at them and we'll figure out how to find out what they are.
Yeah, they most probably are hand forged because
they look like it, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, from my
not that I know what it looks like, but
hand forged. But you know, those are those things that help you tell the story, and these were found in Lecompton. Lecompton was one of the Kansas Pride communities this year, got an award. So we're going to talk to you about all those communities working so hard to share their stories and improve their communities. Kansas Pride Communities. Stay tuned. The Kansas Pride Program is a partnership of K-State Research and Extension, the Kansas Department of Commerce, and Kansas Pride, Inc., and is all about building better communities. It is dedicated to serving communities across the state and encouraging and assisting local government and volunteers in making their community a better place to live and work. Through the Pride Program, local communities identify what they would like to preserve, create, or improve for their future. Then, working with the resources of K-State Research and Extension and the Kansas Department of Commerce, community volunteers pull together to create their ideal community plan. The Pride Communities of Excellence distinction is given to a community for a set period of 3 years. It honors local Pride volunteer groups that continuously work to improve their communities through activities such as determining the community needs, establishing goals, creating projects, and celebrating successes. As Community of Excellence Award winners, they are eligible to apply for Partners in Pride matching grants of up to $2,000 to fund future community improvements. Kansas Governor Sam Brownback signed a proclamation earlier in the spring designating May 24th through the 30th as this year's Week of Pride. The 2015 through 2017 Pride Communities of Excellence are Glasgow, Dover, Randolph, McFarland, Lecompton, and Larned. If you have never been to one of these communities, you should visit. They are putting forth the efforts and improvements to make their community a great place to live, entertain, and grow. Isn't that what rural Kansas is all about? If you want to learn more about the Kansas Pride Program, you can visit www.kansasprideprogram.ksu.edu.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Years ago, there was a cartoonist named Gary Larson who wrote cartoons, some of which featured cows talking to each other. And it made for a funny cartoon because you wonder what animals would say to each other. This poem is entitled The Perfect Name. 3 new horses were talking over the pasture fence. They thought they'd get acquainted so their grazing could commence. "What's your name?" they asked the first horse, and he swelled up with pride. "My owner calls me Champion when we go out to ride." They turned to the second horse and said, "So what's your name?" Just as the first horse swelled with pride, the second did the same. "I got a cool name when I was just a colt. You see, my owner always calls me Thunderbolt." Then the other two turned to the third and final horse, and they asked for him to tell his name, of course. "Well, I'm not exactly sure," the other horse finally said. "From what I hear, I think it's Whoa, you stupid knucklehead." Happy trails.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress. Powered by Kansas farmers.
Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes. Hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream. We're the best part of